light set up for my work session, and I had 2 missed calls and 4 text messages from casting saying, "Hey Jojo, I'm so sorry, we need you to come back, we forgot to do the second scene." So I'm already nearly I'm pretty much tipsy at this point, and I'm looking at my phone and I look at my best friend and I'm like, bitch, get it together. We need to get back on this thing. So then, and she, because she's so tiny and having had this drink, she's just like trying to grab the sides and being like, okay, yeah, that's fine, the thing. We're fine, I'm fine, it's good, let's go. And we get back on the call, and I'm there and I look at everybody and I'm just like, oh, it's so great, I was just about to pour myself a drink. And we do the scene, and I got the best note ever from Glenn. He watched it the first time, and then he goes, great, Jojo. That was a great take. Okay, let's do one more, and when you do it one more time, can you just be like, imagine if Carlos is just a little more high. And I'm just like, oh, perfect. So I just took the biggest breath, and I just exhaled and let the full tipsiness just take over. I took over, I did the scene again. 3 days later, I found out I got the part. So, when in doubt,
thank you, tequila.
Thank you, tequila. Take a shot of tequila and you'll book your role. No, and then on the last day of set, actually, well, I don't think you did, no, you don't know this, but on our last day of set, I would pull people aside when I was wrapped filming, and I gave everybody a celebratory shot in honor of that story. So yeah, that was a fun time. That was that story. But I also want to go back to the fact that you had a very crazy audition process for this.
But I also have a similar story.
But you do, yes you do. Mm-hmm. Oh, he does, it's a good one.
Which is,
tell it.
It's our commonality between when we both were testing and taping for this.
We're just a bunch of alcoholics. Ain't that the truth?
Now it's true.
It is true.
So, when I was testing for John, I went through several audition phases, I think 2 or 3, and then we went the testing phase, the chemistry test, which is essentially they'll bring in a character who's reading for Meg, or a person who's reading for the character Mary, and here we go, let's sort that one out. They bring in people who are reading for Mary, and I did 3, there was 3 girls a day, and which would, girls a day, let me tell you.
What a player, yo, whoa.
But they would bring in 3 girls every day to read for Mary, and I did 9 total tests for a total of 28 hours of chemistry reads with different versions, different actresses playing the character Meg, playing the character Mary. Just edit that out, edit that back in. And it gets exhausting because there was 2 guys, myself and another man, reading for the role of John, and it would be I would read with one of the girls, they would go read with him, and it would take 3 hours to get through all 3 girls. I'm not playing with that right now. It's too soon.
Continue the story.
So, I didn't know that I booked the role till the 7th test, and that was 24 hours of chemistry reads at that point, or something like that, 21 or 24. And around test number 5, I just done test number 4, and then I got called back, and the next, not even 4 hours later, and they're like, hey, we're gonna read 3 new girls in the morning, 8 a.m. And 8 a.m. their time was 4 a.m. my time. It was ridiculous. So I was like, okay. So I got there in the morning, and I was at my taping setup, and I was like, I'm so low energy, and the scene that they just gave us was a super flirtatious scene, so I was like, I just need to feel something. So I went to my manager's fridge, I grabbed a couple of beers, and I cracked them open, and I was just sipping, and I would the camera's here, but I would walk off camera, and I would go over here, and I'd sip my beer, and then, while they're giving the girl the notes, and then I would come back.
8 a.m. in the morning. By the way.
4 or 5 my time. And there was one take where they're giving her notes, and I grabbed what I consciously thought was my water, but was in fact a Modelo. And I start drinking it, and I'm just drinking it, listening to the note, and I looked on the Zoom as I'm, where's my water? I'll just reenact this for you. This is what happened. So they're giving her the note. Step away from Rob's guitar. I'm sipping the water, or a beer. All right, well. Why am I drinking water?
Dude, just swallow it.
Swallow it first. Good night, everybody. Okay, I'm gonna wrap this up. But basically, I'm sipping the water, sipping my beer, and I look in the camera and I see myself on Zoom in front of the entire production team, in front of the studio, the network, at 5 in the morning drinking a beer. And I'm not gonna do it now, but I was gonna spit take, because that's what happened. I spat my beer everywhere, and I just walked off the camera, and I kid you not, I just went,
It's over. Everything's over.
my life is over. This whole casting office is never gonna call me back in. Every one of these producers is gonna think I'm an alcoholic, and that I can only act when I'm drinking, which is only partially true. And so I walked back on camera like nothing happened, with a water bottle in my hand, and I started sipping it. And we went through the rest of the tape. Nobody said anything. Then we come to the close and come to the finish. And
You did that to yourself.
and nobody said anything. And then they called me back on camera by myself, and it was Danielle. And Danielle like popped up on the Zoom, and she was like, "Hey, so thank you so much for 21 hours of your time. Like we really enjoyed having you guys around, and we appreciate like you sticking in for this." And she was like, "Just one last question for you." And I had forgotten about this. I was like, I got away with it. Like I did it. And she's like, what kind of beer were you drinking? And everything in me dropped. And then everyone, Jensen, because at the time Jensen was directing an episode of Walker, so he was in a different location. So everyone, Glenn, Jensen, Robbie, they all turned on their cameras, and they all had their wines and their beers. And they're like, hey man, we're right there with you. You're fine. Roll's yours, buddy.